WW3 News. Italy, like any other country, there are updates on the modification of the highway code. I heard in the news there's a discussion of in the Italian Parliament. They're going to discuss a new law regarding who goes on bikes. And some of the novelties are cyclists until now had to go one by one, one by one each other, I should say, instead of a single file. The word is instead of one on one side, or they do a group, which they usually do now. Well, they consented to do a group of a maximum 10 cyclists if it passed the law, and the use of a protective helmet for those people who practice as a sport cycling, and special shoes for those up until the age of 18 who goes on a bike. They're specially designed shoes for to keep your feet on the pedals. Unbelievable it is. And another type of law will be coming to make it compulsory to have lights on a bike, illumination. I think that's a good idea. And they're talking about an ID plate, type of number plate, which they introduced to for 50cc mopeds here in Italy more than 35 years ago. Then afterwards it passed over to having its own type of number plate, compulsory insurance and stuff like that. This is probably the road which usually happens here in Italy. The government has to find some way to squeeze money out of people, and it's only right. Until now, cyclists, they didn't pay nothing like road tax or insurance or whatever. And obviously those undisciplined cyclists, we know, which they travel side by side, with a bike, holding up traffic and stuff like that. And in this discussion, having an ID plate to identify these people, especially when they pass through a red light, makes it more easier for the police officer to identify, or even the camera, which catch speeding mobilists on two wheels. But cyclists, no. It's only right they pay their share. And obviously, most people use bikes for going to work or for leisure uses. The idea of this thing of a helmet, protective helmet, and the thingy bob, the ID plate, a bicycle, here in Italy may extend it on them as well. Hope not, because who goes to work with a bike, who does shopping with a bike, or goes around with a bike, travelling around, okay. Instead of these stupid cyclists, which they go around like a bunch of pansies with those tight pants and shaved legs. And these didn't talk about a type of safety car assistance for these cyclists when they, train on the road, which you usually find in sporting events. Obviously, that's more costs for the sportive society of cyclists who practice as as a sport. Let's see how it goes. Pedestrians when they cross on the crossroads, even it's not a specific code of the Italian Highway Code. There's a court of Supreme Court which a pedestrian got run down on the crossroads, and he was distracted. He was probably using the phone or had earphones and stuff like that. Well, they call it concourse de culpa, half the blame. Therefore, the insurance only will pay 50% of if he makes a claim due to an accident, if he gets run over. There's another interesting thing as well. Those pedestrians who jump out of those pedestrian crossings, which have the visibility for the motorists and for them no cross, absolutely blocked, or he jumps out, pounces out on the zebra crossing or in the middle of the road without being careful or being, prudent. There will be blamed for 80%, and therefore insurance companies, when it comes out on a police report, the driver declares this person's jumped out in the middle of the road without not looking properly being careful when crossing the road, and so on. The insurance can even refuse to pay these people out who makes a claim. And this, it's a safeguard for motorists. It is a part of an article of the actual highway code itself somewhere as legislation. Because, pedestrians and cyclists, there are a nuisance on the roads, like the majority of other people who do not are not aware of the situation going around, not being prudent at all. So that's the situation here in Italy regarding cyclists and pedestrians.